Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. Facing the east. Call Halayama, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchakadash. And double honors to all the prophets, the apostles, the elders, and the teachers, and the sincere Akyam and Akwa coming into the 100% truth. Let's get into it. Today, we're just gonna read some of 2nd Esdras. But I want to open with a verse from 2nd Esdras, but chapter 9. So, 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, KJV. And it's 9 and 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 6. Yeah, okay. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. Plain beginnings is the point here. To be plain is to make it easy to understand. And that's what he's done for us at these end times. We can clearly see what's going on around us with the changing of the cash, the systematic train derailments, putting out toxic waste everywhere, which is playing right into their plan, because they want to have 10-minute cities and every other place around us is uninhabitable. You got to think about it. They're doing this as a system. But today, I wanted to get into 2nd Esdras, chapter 13. And I think we're only going to read through, we're probably just going to go through like verses 24, 25. We're not going to read the whole chapter, but we are going to get out a few verses. So, 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, and starting from the top.
And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed by night.
Keep going, all the way through.
And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire.
So, I beheld, lo, and a man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So when you guys see the Most High showing up with the host of heaven, you are going to be scared. And there's nothing that you can do about it. In fact, this part I really like. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they burned that heard his voice. You know what that reminds me of? Right there. Proverbs, chapter 25. Oh, wait. I'll stay right there.
25, 21?
Yeah, Proverbs, chapter 25 and 21 through 23.
If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahweh shall reward thee. The north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue.
So, the point is the food that you're being fed is actually the knowledge. So you're taking in, you're ingesting the knowledge and it's burning you up inside when you hear the truth. The drink is the wisdom. When you understand the knowledge of what we're speaking of, it burns. The truth hurts. People don't like the truth. That's why there's, oh no, and what they want to do is get defensive. They want to justify their way of life when they hear the truth. That's why they get so defensive. But let's keep going. Let's go back into 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and go right to 5.
That's 6 now.
Go
back to 5.
Yeah, go back to chapter 13 and 5.
And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
And stop right there. I want to get a precept on that too. It said, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of heaven. Hold on now. Go ahead and give me Revelation 7 and 1.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree.
So that's happening right now. We got the 4 angels at the 4 corners of the earth holding back the total and utter destruction, the third woe. And what are they doing? We're gathering together the hopeful elect, the 1/3, the sincere Akwath that are coming into this truth. Let me see, where were we? And I beheld there was a great, so read it, let me see it. Read it. And then after this, I saw 4 angels standing in the corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds, that the wind should blow not on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel, and so I also want to stop right there. But right now, those 4 angels are getting ready to let go. They're not going to hold it back no more. That's why it's getting stronger. The curses are getting more fluent. Like I said last week, when a woman's giving birth, she goes through a lot of pain. The pain gets worse. That's why they say you're in travail like a woman giving birth. But when Israel gets delivered, it's going to be just like when the woman gives birth. At that second, she forgets about the pain and goes right to wanting to nurse the child. So as soon as we're delivered, we're going to forget about the pain, and Yahushai is going to be our nursing maid, and he's going to bring us back to where we're supposed to be, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's why it says everything will be made plain. Everything will be made easy to understand. Let's keep going. Where were we?
Go back to Esdras.
Yeah, let's go back to Esdras.
Behold, Shalat. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it.
Keep going.
But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hills was graven, and I could not.
But, and after this?
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight.
They still fought, but they were afraid. So he gathered everybody together to fight. That sounds familiar now, doesn't it? And it said a great mountain. Now we all know that mountains are a nation, so we gathered a great nation. But let's get some precepts on that. Let's get a few precepts on that one. I want to just bring out a few precepts on that. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12.
Zechariah 12 and 3. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it.
That's right. So everybody that's gathering together against Yasha Allah is going to be cut to pieces. And he's gathering them together right now. Let's go to Joel 3 and 2.
Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land.
So there you have it again. The whole book is telling you the same thing. He's gathering all you other nations, the heathen nations that are wicked. He's gathering you guys all together. You're going to be fighting against each other. You're going to be trying to take out the Israelites. And then you're going to look up and realize you guys have to come together and fight against Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So let's go to another one. Isaiah 66 and 18, I guess.
Isaiah 66:18. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory.
And what is his glory? His glory is going to be when he burns this place up. And you know this. That's what it's coming to. In fact, Zephaniah 3 and 8.
Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise upon thy prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
So, it's clearly saying that Yahweh Shai is coming back to put judgment. Judgment. He's going to reward the good for the good, but he's going to take the evil and the wicked, and he's going to pour out his indignation, his full wrath, without mixture. And that's written too. For anybody that wants to get the charagma, they want to speed up the cash. Well, it says clearly that if you receive that mark, that you will also receive the full cup of his indignation without mixture. You know what? Let's get it. I'm gonna get that real quick. Revelation chapter 14, KJV. 14 and 9. Okay. This is what I was talking about. I don't want to take it out of context, so let me read it word for word for you. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying in a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in the forehead, Neuralink, the hand, RIDF, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So the holy angels are the hopeful elect, the 1/3 and 144,000. The Lamb is Yahweh Shai. Now that we know that, let's go back over to Zephaniah again. Is that the one we just read?
Yes, we did.
Let's go to Revelation 19 and 19.
Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
Guess what? And they were scared when they saw him, but they still fought. So let's go back to 2nd Esdras 13. Yeah, start at 9.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, neither lifted up his hand, nor willed the sword, nor any instrument of war.
So, keep going.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
So that's one more.
And they were all mixed together, a blast of fire, the flaming of breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable...
Just 11. And they were mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. You know, the guys, they were all gathered together. I just showed you. Everybody's been gathered together to fight. What it's telling you here, that he didn't do nothing, he just opened his mouth. Like I was showing you, we're spiritually doing that. We're spiritually burying you guys up right now. That's why I was showing you Proverbs 25. Every time we teach this word, we're feeding you the knowledge. And the wisdom, when you understand that we're telling the truth, it kills you. It just, or you just want to justify your wicked ass lifestyle. It doesn't matter though. But and burned up every one of them, that so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw, I was afraid. Let's go back to 10 for a second. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth. So let's go back to 9 for a second. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. And then when you go into 10, it says, he sent out of his mouth a blast of fire. I'm just showing you, he ain't even lifted a finger. He's going to tear this place down. He's going to tear this place down. And let's get a precept on that. Let's get Revelation 19:15 through 21.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it should smite the nations, and he shall rule with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh.
That's good enough right there. That makes the point right there, right, guys? That makes the point. Read 15 again.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh.
What comes out of Yahushai's mouth? The laws, the statutes within the laws, and the direct commands. Okay? So here we're going to go back to the laws, is what's going to happen. And the laws are going to prevail. His word does not change. My word does not change. I change not. So how is it going to change? Somebody tell me where it's going to change. So go back into that and pick up where you left off.
Revelation?
Yeah.
Are you in verse 16?
Yeah.
And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great Yahweh, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of men, both free and bond, both small and great.
So, he's telling you that when he destroys this place, he's going to send the beast of the field, the fowl of the air, and they're going to come and feast on your ass. They're going to eat you when you're dead. It literally says that. People think this book is a happy-go-lucky, God loves everybody, he's just a spirit. Where does it say that in here?
You guys know Enoch?
Enoch was, he's one of the sons
book of
of
Enoch.
Adam.
I'm a real big fan. I like what you say.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you a precept from Enoch. In the book of Enoch, this is one of the only things that I really like about it. It says that the angels, so Enoch's having a vision, and he doesn't know how to describe what he's seeing, so he's calling the people that he sees angels and the place heaven. The angels in the heaven are working together, but they hate each other. What does that remind you of? What does that remind you of? I don't need to get in the book of Enoch. I've read it a bunch of times, but honestly, the reason why the book of Enoch isn't in the canon because it has nothing to do with the laws, the statutes within the laws, and the direct commands of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. So we don't use it.
Okay.
Which there are some precepts in there that you could use, but it's like, why would you want to go into a rattlesnake pit looking for a bull snake?
What should I check out?
The King James Version of the Bible, and then there's another book that goes with it called the Apocrypha.
Okay.
The Apocrypha, that word actually means secret document, not for public use. So they kicked a whole bunch of books out of the Bible that prove the truth.
Yeah.
And with those books, we're reading out of the Apocrypha today.
Okay.
We're reading out of 2nd Esdras. So that's what the whole class is based on, which lines up with everywhere through the Bible. They don't want you to know their plan, so when they remove stuff, it makes it confusing to figure out what they're doing and what's going on. But when we put these books back in, we can clearly map their plan out and tell you what they're getting ready to do next.
I'm going to check it out today.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Now let's go back to where we left off. What were we talking about?
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and the armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
So I'm pretty sure that's clear that if the birds are going to physically eat you, that means you're going to physically be dead. He's going to take your flesh and remove it from your spirit. And then you're going to go to a different judgment. And what do? You come back as a slave. It's all written. This is the feel-good message. This is the gospel. That means this is the good news. Woe unto those that what do they call it for the day of the Lord?
Good, evil, good.
That too. I was thinking of woe unto those that call on the day of the Lord, because none of these people worship Yahweh, but they want him to show up. That's going to be an interesting break. I mean, that's going to be an interesting meeting. I mean, like, these people are going to realize at that last second, when you're not doing what you're supposed to, he's going to make it plain. In other words, you're going to know at that second that you weren't doing what you were supposed to as an Israelite. Everybody else, you're doomed. If you're not an Israelite, you're doomed. That's all there is to it. I don't have no respect of persons. I don't care about anybody. I only care about my brothers and my sisters that can hear the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Everybody else, I don't care if you're black, white, green, red, orange. If you can't understand these breakdowns, if you don't feel it, then it's not for you. But if you do, then it is for you. It's that simple. They try to criminalize the truth and then separate you through a color. And everybody just falls right into the trap. This isn't a coloring book teaching. This is for all the children of Israel that are scattered to the four winds of the earth. The four winds of the earth. The angels stood at the four corners of the earth. What are they holding the winds back for? Because we've been scattered. We're the ones that are standing out here in the highways and the hedges, wondering when he's going to come back and save us. Everybody else, you call on the day of the Lord, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Unless you're doing what you're supposed to, you're doomed. But before I go too far, let's just go back. Let's get a couple more precepts and then go back into Esdras. Let's go to Isaiah 63.
Isaiah 63 and 2.
Yeah.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments, like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
So he's gathering the nations together to stomp the great blood out of them.
stomp the water out of them.
Literally, you ain't going to be nothing left. There's going to be birds pecking on what's left over, the scraps, the beast and the birds. Let me get another one. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 8. That's why the elders tell you guys to take notes. I take notes all day and night. All day and night. That's all I do. Once I get out of here, I'm going to hopefully put up another class today. Hopefully I'll get to do the other class I want to do today.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
We are the spirit of his mouth at this time. So, we're the ones that are burning you guys up inside because you keep hearing the truth come out of us and you don't like the truth. The truth isn't for everyone. Read it again.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Wait, right there. Yahweh shall consume him with the spirit of his mouth. We are consuming you guys right now with the spirit of his mouth. We're doing his works. We will show our faith through our works. And our works are to say what the scriptures tell us. And it shows you right here, spiritually, we're destroying you right now. We're bringing in the end times. We're showing you that this is really getting ready to happen. Whether you listen or not, that's up to you. In July, they're taking away paper cash. That's when it's getting introduced. I just showed you. Anybody that receives that mark, you're going down. So let's go back. No, let's get two more precepts in the 3 or 4. I don't know. Let's go to Luke chapter 12 and 51.
Luke 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division.
Division. What is he? What's the division? He didn't come to bring peace. It says that. It says, I rather come to bring division. He is going to separate the truth from the lies. He's going to separate the believers from the unbelievers. He's going to separate the faithful from the unfaithful. It's called being sifted. And when the harvest is done, he takes the wheat and the tare together and he separates the wheat from the tare. The tare is the other nations, the heathen nations, the wicked, 2/3. The wheat are the righteous 1/3 Israelites that came back to the truth. Let's get Matthew chapter 10 and 34.
Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
A sword. It's saying the same thing. He is going to slice and dice all of your lies, all of your unrighteousness. He's going to take out what it's doing. The sword is like, what is it? And I will lift up her skirt and you will see her secret parts. The secret parts are her sins and all of her deceptions. And that's what it's saying right here also. That sword is going to do the same thing. That's going to cut all of the lies out and get right to the truth. It's going to separate it. What do you do when you cut a piece of steak? You pull one slice off, you separate it from the rest of the steak. He's going to separate his 1/3 from the rest of the nations. I come not to bring peace, but I came to bring division. I came to bring a sword. So let's go over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, just 15 and 16. I'm going to leave you Christians out of this one. I'm not going to read 17 this time.
For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots, like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. But for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many.
So, this sword, that spiritual sword where he's cutting the truth, and this sword right here, this is the real one. Fire. And through fire, I'm going to plead with all flesh through fire. How is he going to? And the slain of the Lord shall be many. The slain of the Lord shall be many. This is a physical thing getting ready to happen. Do you understand that? Fucking biker keeps rolling past us doing laps. So the Most High is going to send fire, and he's going to plead with all flesh through that fire. And how is he going to send that fire? Because believe me, Job, what is it? I can't remember where it's at. The world was given to the hands of the wicked. 9 and 24. Job 9 and 24. Sorry about that. So this is how I know what weapon he's going to use, how he's going to do it, because it says right here in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So we know that the Most High has a sword that he uses to carry out certain missions. Now let's get that sword, because I just showed you he gave the earth into the hands of the wicked. But let's go to I forgot to put a verse in here. Hold on. I will shoot my arrows and they surely will not miss. Oh no, I got it right there. I got it right there. Go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16. And 13. All the way. Just read through 3:17.
Pick me up where? 13?
Yeah, start at 13.
Now therefore set thine house in order.
Might as well 2nd Esdras chapter 16. Start at verse 11 and read through
The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. Before Yahweh and before the glory of his power, for strength is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and he shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
So right there, now we know how he's going to do it. He said that my arrows are going to be shot. They shall not miss. What's a modern day arrow? A modern day arrow is called a missile or a bullet or, I don't know. All right, what is the other one? The missiles, the bullets, the nuclear warheads. That's what he's going to use, and they surely will not miss. They surely will not miss. Keep going.
For strong is his right hand. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, to consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
So he's going to send out plagues, and he's going to send out a mighty archer. And when he does this, he's not going to take it back. He's going to continue it until the job is done. Keep going.
Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold,
go ahead, one more.
Famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
So, we got to get that word. So, clearly, woe means total and utter destruction. So, when you hear the word woe in the Bible, destruction, destruction, destruction is me. Who will deliver me in those days? What days are we in? Are we in the days of Matthew chapter 24? Because that's what this is talking about, the beginning of sorrows. In fact, I wasn't going to bring this out yet, but let me get it. Matthew 24 and 40. You can read 1 through 40 in Matthew chapter 24, but I'm just going to get the point. Matthew 24 and 40.
Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left.
Keep going. The next verse.
Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye not know.
That's
24.
24 and 40. And there's no 6. Go down to 6. No. Wait. Blessed is you and Lord. Wait, hold on. Matthew chapter 24, KJV. All I wanted to get was, and these are the beginnings of sorrows, which is in the other one. So let me see. Here it is. Yeah. Sorry, it was Matthew 24 and 8. And what I was trying to get to was I'm going to start at verse 6, which lines right up to what he was reading in 2nd Esdras chapter 16, right? So watch this. And this is Matthew, starting at verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and you see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. We just said that in 2nd Esdras chapter 16. We were saying it in 2nd Esdras 13 that we're getting ready to gather everybody together to destroy them. This is the beginning of the destruction. Hold on, verse 8. And these are the beginnings of sorrows. So we're not in Jacob's trouble yet. But you'll know it when we are. You'll know it when we are. Once they make you desperate enough to think twice about whether you're going to get marked or not. Let's go back to the book of 2nd Esdras. Yeah, let's go back to chapter 13. And pick up at verse 14. Probably just read all of it. Start at 13. We'll read 13 again.
13 what?
2nd Esdras 13 and 13. Phones are moving slow today, so what are you gonna do? That's why I always just push that little microphone. All right. Now his phone's doing. I updated this and it hasn't been bothering me today, but now I guess it's crossed over to your phone because his phone ain't doing nothing. Read the full chapter. Do the whole chapter. Oh, it does. It's not working. All right, his phone is frozen. Let me get it. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 13. And there came much people unto him, wherefore some were glad, and some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant the wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. So it's saying he's seeing a vision, and in the end, what's happening is he's seeing all the people that were righteous, all the people that were wicked, all the people that realized that they were wrong when they thought they were right. They're seeing everybody, the shameful ones, the slaves, everybody. They're all coming to him. Let's keep going. Oh wait, here. Oh, you finally got it? All right, go.
All
14.
praises Most High.
Shalom, ahab wa baraka akwa.
Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Shew me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For
well, that's where that precept goes. Woe unto them that are left behind. Because I said, hey, that we were talking about. I brought out Matthew, chapter 24 and 40, but that's where it goes right there. Go back, read that again.
16.
Yeah.
For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind.
One more.
For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind.
So, you know what? Let me just get it again. Let's just get it again. Because this is what I wanted to bring out in the first place. Matthew chapter 24, KJV. So, woe unto them that'll be left in those days. So I just want to bring, now the reason why I want to bring out the scripture so I can show you and you can get a little understanding of what the scripture is actually saying now. Because it's Matthew 24 and 40, it says, And then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and one shall be left. So it says, what does it say over in yours? And woe unto them that are left in those days. Or wait, read it again on yours, not in Matthew. Esdras. In Esdras, it says,
For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind.
So let me read this. There shall be two in the field, one shall be taken, and the other left. He said, it's worse to be taken than it is to be left. What does that mean? It's worse to die than to stay alive and suffer the curses. Because if you're alive, suffering the curses, you still have a chance to be saved. But if you've already been taken out, you have no chance. So when it's talking about there's two in the field, one will be taken and one will be left behind, the one that's taken is the one that died. The one that was left behind got spared. That's why I wanted to bring that out earlier. Let's go back into, you're on Ezra still? Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Now understand, I the things that had laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days.
Did you hear that? It's easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away, than to die. It's easier to be in danger than it is to die. And not seeing things happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, go ahead.
The interpretation of
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. What I want to say is, It's better to be alive and suffer the curses and see the end unfold and have a chance to be saved and repent than it is to just die and not see the end at all. Going straight to judgment. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty.
Right there. Right there. We gotta get Sirach. I think it's I'll get it. I'll get this one. Sirach chapter 2, KJV. Read that again, that verse again. I think it was 20 or 21.
He that endured the peril in the time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty.
And it says, my son, if thou come, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 2 from the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him. Depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Read it again.
He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen to danger are such as have worked and have faith toward the Almighty.
The reason why I'm putting Esdras out, Sirach out there again, because this is the guy that kept himself. The one that prepared his soul for temptation. He set his heart aright. In other words, he followed the instruction, constantly endured. All kinds of bad things happened, and he was tempted to do wrong, but he didn't. He didn't do anything wrong. He constantly endured. He made not haste in time of trouble. Let me get one. He cleaved unto the Lord. That means that he kept the laws. He didn't waver. He wasn't like a child being tossed to and fro with any false doctrine. No, this guy stuck to the laws, the statutes within the laws, the direct commands. So whatsoever is brought upon him, he took it cheerfully. And he was patient. This is what it's talking about. Read it again.
He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty.
If you're falling into danger, it's because you're doing works for the Lord. What's the first verse in Sirach 2 and 1? My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. To be tempted, that's dangerous. But let's go ahead and we're going to get ready to close out. Let's go back to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 13, KJV. And where did we leave off at 23? He that endureth perils and works. 24. Last verse. 25. 24 and 25.
Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
What did I just tell you? Sorry. What did I just tell you? I said that if you're left behind, you still have a chance to repent. Go ahead. If you're dead, you can't do that.
This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas,
yes.
Whereas thou sawest the man coming up from the midst of the sea.
And that's where we're going to stop. We're going to stop right there. We just broke down his whole dream. If you don't understand, Shalom Akiyah. So if you don't understand what this dream was about, then I guess many are called, few are chosen. You know what? I got a couple more precepts. Let's get them. Because I just told you, James chapter 2. And this goes right with 2nd Esdras 1 through 5. Sirach chapter 2, 1 through 5. This lines up right with that too. James chapter 2 and 18.
Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
Now I gotta go back to where I was at. Second Esdras chapter 13, page AB. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought when you brought out the verse. I need it right in front of me.
Where? Wait.
Okay. Because in 23, he that shall endure peril in that time have kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are, here it is, into danger are such as have works and have fallen towards the Almighty. So what was that again? So it's saying like right here, the person that's sticking with the works, that's doing their job. Read that again to me again.
Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
So he that endure the perils in that time shall keep himself. The person that is showing their faith by their works, not just talking about God knows my spirit, Jesus loves me because he knows my spirit and all, and you don't do anything. Or you just sit there and listen and you don't take notes, or just show up and stand around. That shows you have faith, but faith without works. You have to be doing something. And the guy that's that shall endure, he's enduring because he has faith, and he's showing his faith by his works. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that are dead. I already told you, the people that are left behind are going to definitely have a better chance than the people that are already in the grave. Clearly, you can't repent if you're gone. Well, I'm going to get one more precept and then we're done. Matthew 24 and 13.
But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved.
So, let me read it again. He that shall endure the perils in the time that have kept himself, they that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. So he that endureth until the end, this guy right here, is going to be saved. Him and his family, they're going to get that pass. And with that being said, you know I got to end it with Revelation 22 and 14. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to pay every man according to his work shall be. You're going to get it paid according to your works. If you're just standing around, that's what you're going to get paid for. If you don't do any work, you don't get paid. I learned that having a job. I've watched people get fired for not doing anything. So what do you think the Most High is going to do to you? He's going to remove you from his congregation if you're not doing the works. And if you're just doing works without faith, then you're just going through the motions. If you have faith without works, you're a slow belly. In other words, you're fat and lazy. So it all has to work together. You have to have faith with works. In other words, you got to be studying, you got to take notes, you got to go out to the highways and the hedges. You got to preach to the wind. You've got to cry aloud, spare not, raise up your voice like a trumpet, and show thy people their transgressions. Why? Because we love our brothers and sisters, and we want to see them wake up. And in the end, we can all rejoin each other and be at peace. And with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message.